Throw the hoodie on.
All right, let's get into it.
What up? No, I got to come with the.
I can't invite you nowhere.
What up?
I believe you go cut up today.
I'm gonna be nice.
Welcome,
How you
welcome,
doing?
welcome, everybody. This is not the Ken and Miss Love show. First of all, welcome to Yard Talk HBCU. Today we were actually going to have a debate. There was a big controversy yesterday on Twitter because Mr. Stephen Parker from Alcorn started quite a ruckus. So I invited Ken Clark. Ken, say what's up to the people.
What up? You know I'm here. I'm here. You know it was supposed to be a battle royal, so I had to throw my hoodie on. You know how you come out for the sparring match. You know what's going on? What's going on? How you doing? Appreciate you for having me on, though, for real.
Yes, sir. And I've been chasing him down all week. He's a very busy man, but I had to have him on the show. So appreciate you for being here, man. And he is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I just said yeah, no doubt.
And as y'all know, I'm Grand Fam, and he's the I Love. But the controversy started around, oh Lord. The controversy started around social media, and we do follow each other. And so I kind of wanted to have this debate with Coach Parker, but he did not show up. So, and he's a Alcorn graduate. So we're just going to move right along. As usual, y'all know I got to have my receipts. So, first of all, shout out to CFL Podcast. This is kind of really where where it kind of started at. Because the messy 1400 club.
No, we ain't gonna do that. We not messy. No, we never that.
They made a tweet about people posting on social media, and Kobe responded because some of our schools have not posted. He said on IG. For like a 3-year time period, they had no digital footprint on IG. So Kobe made a comment and said, I think that's wild. I don't think that was controversial when he said that. What you think, Ken? Like,
no, it wasn't controversial. I mean, it was really. I mean, one thing I'll say is that shout out to, I'll say, the brain power behind the 1400 Club Twitter page. If you're not following them, man, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'll just say, 1400 Club never puts out anything that, isn't verified, true, and relevant to whatever's going on at the time. So it was just a mentioning. The music started again, kind of threw me off a little bit. So it was really just a mention of a few schools that haven't, posted anything on their social media account since for however long. And it's on the tweet that you got showing. But I don't think that was controversial. I just think that what causes it is that whenever you're telling somebody truth about themselves, it's hard truth, then it pricks a few people. So that's kind of what happened. That's really all it is. We sensitive in our HBCU and the family. You know, we sensitive. We
Right.
don't like to be told we need to do better. We don't like that. We gonna gripe and fuss first, but then we'll come around to it. But no,
And
I wasn't controversial.
what's crazy is I literally talk about this every day. Every day, I'm making some kind of post saying, "Hey, y'all, we need
Yeah,
to be," because, and the reason is because I've sat in those meetings, with companies that are built around this kind of social media stuff, marketing,
yeah,
advertising. They spend
right.
money with schools that have a robust social media presence. So I'm not just saying it because I'm just making it up. It's literally stopping us from actually getting into that space to generate revenue for our schools. So let's move on. Let's look and see what Mr. I think he's a coach. I think he's Coach Parker.
Right, right.
What he responded. He said, if IG and Twitter brought in championships right now, JSU would be undisputed. 3 select titles since '99, one on default due to SU violations. Get some sustained access before you start checking for other schools. Blah blah blah. Now tell me what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, we had a chance to dialogue about it. I think there was a spaces on Twitter we did afterwards, but not. I think there was one. My thoughts is this. I think what happens is that when we're talking about things, we tend to kind of like commingle everything, and I don't think you could be 0-11 and still have really good social media presence. It does. I don't think those two things are related in
Right.
relation to telling your story. All of our institutions have historical facts and data that not only can we share that, but you also want to give the people. It's the evolution of time. Like I mentioned, Twitter Space. Hell, it wasn't too long ago. It felt like yesterday we had MySpace, but look at how
Mm-hmm.
far social media has
It's
progressed,
all
man.
integrated.
Yeah, it's so different now, man. So what happens is as times change, you started to see all these different news channels. Because remember, we used to get our information from the news channel. It used to
Correct.
be the newspaper or the radio. And what happened is that as Facebook and all these different other social media platforms started to really take off, you start seeing the progression of the use of social media because that's where the eyes were at. People get their information and people get all their data from social media. So
Thank
now
you.
you're seeing companies having to like pivot and really move into a direction that they may not be prepared for. So what they have to do is they have to come together. They have to, I would say, have more of like a kind of a round table and put a plan in place. And no matter what you see taking place within a company right now, they're always looking down the road. They're always forecasting. They're always projecting. They're always looking at how to make what we do either more simple. How can we touch more people without doing what we used to do? Because remember, back in the day, marketing used to be about radio play,
Yep.
um, ad play. It used to be
Correct.
about it used to be about foot. You know what I'm saying? You get out and hit the ground. You know what I mean? It used to be really getting out, telling the people because this is what we used to say. Our marketing is telling everyone who you are and what you have to offer. That's really all
Right.
marketing
That's
is.
right.
So now we're seeing something that is a phenomenon, which is this social media that we all use every single day. And the
Every
smart
day.
thing was, it was like, you know what? How can I go about using this platform that everybody uses? Because there's more people that's on social media than there are that watch TV. So
Great
you got to
point.
get in
I
front
didn't
of the
even
people.
think
So,
about that.
and that was my point. So, I mean, social media has changed the way people interact.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I was looking up,
Yeah,
Ken,
yep,
because you're looking at it from a business perspective, and that's the same way I look at it.
yep,
Twitter has a net worth of $35 billion.
yep. You
They're
can actually
making
buy
money
stock
off
right
of
now
us.
on Twitter. Yep.
So why can't we use that what the platform we have to generate revenue for our own schools? I don't get it. Like we're
Well,
so
even if you're not generating revenue, let me just say it this way. There is a revenue generation that's going to come from that you put out there. The whole point of marketing is an ROI. You want a
yep.
return on your investment. So you're putting this out there, and I'll give you an example. You mean to tell me that I don't follow every HBCU. I don't follow every HBCU, and I probably should, but
Yes.
I spend a lot of time following recruits. So I'm more curtailed toward Jackson State. I had to actually go into my Twitter account, like unfollow some folks. I'm like, man, you ain't commit to us. I need my follows back, because you get to like 5Gs and you just, it was a wrap for me. So, but let me say this. I saw a recent report that said that South Carolina State just saw record-breaking enrollment.
Talk about it, Ken. Talk about it.
So what I'm saying is this. You're
Talk
telling
about
me that South Carolina State, who a lot of people that wasn't in the HBCU space didn't know who they were. They go to the Celebration Bowl. They beat Jackson State, who's out in the far front of everybody. So kudos to them for beating Jackson State, because now everybody – this is what we were saying. While people are looking into Jackson State, they're going to find out, wait a minute, there's a whole nother world of HBCUs, and everybody can't go to Jackson State. So then they're going to spill over to Grambling. They're going to spill over to Southern. They're going to spill over to – and then what you're going to see is you're going to see FAMU. You're going to see Jackson State. You're going to see Grambling. Not only do they have the brand recognition, they're blue blood HBCU, but they also have some type of representation from a digital media standpoint.
Right. That's right.
That means that I don't have to go to Google. I can just go to their Twitter page and see, oh wow, man, they got a dope weight room. Oh man, them boys look like they crunk. I want to be a part of it. I got to go out there and see what the hype is about. Yeah. So
our Twitter, because I'm an educator by trade.
Okay.
Our Twitter interactions is more about us building a relationship online with people in places we probably will never meet.
That's facts.
So, and I'm gonna tell you something.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Like Elder Bars retweeted a clip from the Sonic Boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, you're seeing that.
Hold up. I retweeted it for y'all.
I appreciate it. But my point is, what you just said was social media allows you in the room and in certain spaces that you would never, ever be if that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Like, quite naturally, I don't think we'll ever be in a room with Elder Bars. It's just, but social media puts us in the same room. So to just, to say that it's not something that we need because you need to win in order to, well, let me say this. If you're winning, that's great. First and foremost, we don't want to make winning, we don't want to make light of that. Number two,
great.
It's great to win, but if you're only doing great in the space of the world that you live in and don't nobody know about it, then you're only going to be great amongst those that are in the space that you're in. There really is no, I ain't going to say it's not any opportunity for growth. It'll be slow growth.
Right.
So, and this is how you really find out. And I know they'll say, well, okay, it was, and I ain't gonna say they. I'll say, if you really want to know, let's look at the before the winning and after the winning, because that's where the tale of the tape is at. Like, people say we did this, we were doing this, we done this, we did. Okay,
nobody knows it doesn't exist.
So here's my question: what did that propel you to? Are you still the same institution that you were 10 years ago? And you just had a dominant run.
Yep.
Man, could you imagine? Let me just say it this way. Let me say it this way a little better. Lenoris Footman was quarterback at Alcorn.
At Alcorn, yeah.
Kid was good, man. You had Noah Johnson that came after him. Then Felix Harper.
Yeah.
Could you imagine when Alcorn had that run? What was it? 6 straight East Division championships, or 4 straight? How many?
I think it was 7.
I think it was 6. It was 6.
It was 6. Okay.
I think it was 6 straight.
Yeah.
Which is That's dominant. You know what I'm saying? That's solid as hell. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
kudos to them for that. But check this out. Could you imagine if they had like a really dope social media presence and they was putting out content and they was hot? Because that was one time when Alcorn was lava hot. And
Yeah.
then what happened is, of course, Coach Prime came and it dominated the headlines. But if you don't think that you can coexist with everything that Coach Prime is doing at Jackson State, then Grambling and FAMU is telling you is proving you wrong, because those institutions are still doing the same thing and they're having some sustained success, even though, like I said, FAMU was doing it prior to. FAMU was the standard of social media from a content creative type
Hey.
standpoint. They were. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't get into the impressions and all of that stuff, but I was telling, like, we used to always talk about, I thought Courtney Gaucher was doing a really good job of like telling their story. Whenever he did some stuff for them athletically, they put it out there. And maybe it wasn't coming as fast and feverish as it is now, but they were doing it already. So I don't want to, we had some Twitter back and forth with them about that, but that's irrelevant. But because I've
But you know
always
why
been
though?
consistent
You know why, Ken?
about that.
Is because, and people don't want to hear this, is because he's existed in spaces outside of the HBCU world,
That's facts.
and
That's facts.
he knows what to do, how to do it quickly, and
Yeah.
how to change a school, and how to call and get this and that done, and how to make that thing function at a higher level.
This is
Nobody
the
don't want
only
to admit that though.
this is the only point that I really want to make about the social media thing. We are always talking about how we don't have resources.
Mm-hmm.
Resources is always going to come back. And we had a whole conversation on resources. The return on the investment of just digital content is so high when it comes to, and that's not a fallacy. Like, the hype is there. The money that we got from Diddy came from, it wasn't because Jack didn't say, oh, he donated to Dion. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say this, though. That also came from everything that Coach Prime did to show what was going on there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If
Right.
he's not showing it and he's just a coach, and only time you see something is when SI writes something or
When y'all
no,
win.
it's, man, to have Gilly and Wallow and everybody, that's, oh my gosh, man.
That's putting.
It
That's
pays.
putting.
So
That's the state
here's
in
the way I'm
different
trying to
regions.
say it.
That's what
So
they did.
we've all been broke.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had a little bit of money before, and some of us are still with a little bit of money. And I'm me first. But let me say it this way: you know how I feel when you get to that that week before the check comes, when you got to make some real, some real deal. You got some tight cuts, some stuff that you only do when you got a little extra money. Here's what I say: when you're budgeting and when you're when you're allocating funds and stuff like that, when you're allocating time and resources in certain areas, it would pay for some of us to dedicate a little bit more in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is happening is I think that there isn't a lot of understanding there.
That's
And
it.
the
That's it.
understanding isn't there as far as how they can utilize it to fill in the gap, to close the gaps on what you don't have. And here's what I'm gonna say: what I said, and I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong, but I said we've landed two top FCS recruiting classes, and Coach Prime has yet to step a foot in anybody's house to go on a recruiting visit.
And see,
He
when
hasn't went and sat on anybody's couch and talked to mama about his son. He's done a lot of this from just the marketing, the program through social media.
and
He
here's
put every coach got a page.
mm-hmm.
He tell you who to send it to. And we had a few folks come out and say, "Well, I reached out and they didn't really do this and that." But I think the return is there, and I think that the data is not in the favor of those that aren't. And I think even with Stephen, even though in his absence he did say he did kind of come around a little bit. That's why it would have been fun if he came. Maybe we could redo this again if you have him on next
Yeah.
time.
Let me see if
But
let me actually see if he responded. Go ahead, I'm listening.
no. That's it. I just think that there's something there. I work for a company that has a whole department that's centered around content creation. A
It's
whole,
a
I
it,
mean,
it's a
it
business
is
now. It's a
it is
business.
a massive amount of because they use social media to get into the face and into the homes of those that may not necessarily see their commercial,
Yeah,
but I can reach you through social media. I
yeah,
can run a full campaign that's centered around social media,
yeah.
and it's effective. So, and it's only here's the thing, we're just getting started, man. This is just the
Let me tell you something.
we just scraping the scum of the pond on this whole this whole thing,
And let me tell you something. Goes back to what you said about recruiting. Coach Hugh came to Grambling in December. I think December 15th was when he was actually hired.
Uh-huh.
I think signing day was February 5th. Now you tell me, without social media, how he would have had a top ranked FCS recruiting class so quickly. Give me any kind of strategy that that could have worked faster than social media.
It
Because
ain't no. I'm telling you, it ain't one. Their social media move faster than the car. I'm telling you.
they
I'm
couldn't have
telling
got
you,
on
man.
enough planes. They couldn't have sat on enough couches to be able to do that without the use of social media.
Social media is like an investment because there's a lot of people. There's only everybody ain't making money in their sleep. But once you start making money when you close your eyes and it doesn't require you to be there and it doesn't require your time and energy, listen, that content that you put out there just it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
Every time somebody go to your page, that content is still there.
yeah,
And they could just spend all day just getting caught up on videos and stuff that you put out a year ago. So what I'm saying is that when coach is a lot is in a space where he's not listen, social media allows Coach Prime to be in all the places he needs to be. Social media and a great staff. Let me say it that way. He has a really good staff that supports him. But here's what I am saying.
right.
Not only on top of that, and they got out and hit the roads and did some recruiting. They got out and got in the homes and faced to let them know it's real, right? But when they ain't out on that road, and social media is a heck of a tool. If you don't believe me, let's go back to the COVID year when nobody could go out. The world told you we still went to work, and this is what companies were afraid of. Companies was afraid of people not wanting to go back to work, and that was
That
the
is
biggest
exactly
issue
what
with
happened
COVID
too.
because the world got to see, look, I can do all my work at home. I don't have to get in my car. Technology has afforded us an opportunity. And then here
Yep.
comes Zoom. We're
Something.
using a platform right now where you are, I'm where I'm at, and we're having dialogue face to face. And this is just, yeah, there's FaceTime, there's Messenger, and there's other ways to do it. But I'm saying the ability to have real meetings without
Mhm.
um, without physically having to be there is a technology that's been there for years, So they've been able to incorporate that into social media, and now it's a thing now. You know what I mean? There's so many other platforms, but um, I just I just see it as clear as day, and it's
Yep.
paid off for us. It really has.
Yep. Let's move on to the next slide and let's see what else.
Okay.
Oh, this is you.
Oh, yeah. Might as well read it. I might have just said it already, but let's read. What did I say? I don't remember.
This is what happens when you commingle two separate things and present ignorance as intelligence. You don't have to have sustained on the field success to do better in your media department. All of us can do better. This notion that you can't be checked is hogwash. Do better. I really struggle with. Hold on, Ken. Let me say something. I struggle with this right here. This. Let me say this, and I'm sure my grand fam will agree with me. One part of why Grambling was such a big brand is because we had a professor on our campus that would write to other newspapers, black owned newspapers across the country
Okay.
about what was going. There is no there would, and if you think about it, Coach Robinson always had a camera in front of him. We
Yeah,
have
I love
so
them
much
videos of Coach
footage.
Rob back in the day. Yeah.
We have so much footage of this man's life and the things he was doing at Grambling. Because somebody brought up the point. Do you think Coach Rob would have been on Twitter? Yes.
Oh, without question.
What?
Without question.
And guess what? We see that as a clear cut example of how media can shape the story for our HBCUs.
You, I, so, oh boy, you just got me started now. So not too long ago, and anybody from Jackson State can attest to this. Not too long ago, we were struggling to like keep a beat writer. It was changing all the time, and we have a newspaper, a local newspaper. I won't say any names, but we used to always get articles when it always had a negative tone.
Oh
It
yeah.
was always when something happened that wasn't good. It was always, heck, if something happened near the campus, they would use our campus as a landmark to identify the
They
crime that had
they do
nothing to
that
do
with
with the
all our
institution.
schools.
But here's what I'm saying. We used to have to, we used to eat that. And we would, now we used to only talk about this amongst ourselves. But then when that particular newspaper gets their own social media, now we're going at the newspaper. We're like, oh, y'all, da 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 da, right? This is what social media is for. You get to tell your own story.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
You're
then
right.
I be trying to figure out
I
like,
didn't even think about that. I'm so glad you said that because I always wanted to be like them videos of Coach Robinson, the late great Eddie Robinson, when
he
he
kept
said
the video up.
he said you gonna look across from him and you gonna look him in the eye and tell him, boy, you about to have a long day today. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you say. You say, man, that's some good footage. But you always wonder, like, where did the footage come from? Is there more? You know what I'm saying? Like that's dope, man. And like, oh man, that's a great point. I love that because I think he was ahead of his time. He really was.
Yeah.
And I would love to like have footage of like content of our, and maybe there's some out there that I'm not aware of, but I would love to see some of our great coaches down through the years have up close and personal. Coach Prime brought the world into the locker room and made you look. It was like a reality TV show, and it was all shot and filmed and shared via social media.
Yeah. So it's not anything new.
That's why we coined the phrase "We're America's HBCU." No offense to Grambling. No offense.
Listen, not today. Not today. We're gonna put that aside today, okay?
No, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
And and credit to Coach Prime. Sometimes I wonder who he's actually studied when thinking about how, you know what I'm saying, about
That's
how.
a great question. I'm pretty sure he can answer it, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I just, something when I put two and two together, like from the past with Coach Rob and what I see now and how people are really just reluctant to move into this space, it just made me wonder, like, who did he study to become, masters of this? But yeah, it's nothing new.
Yeah, it's not.
It's nothing new. It's just all about us taking the time and the money, more so the time to me,
Well, the
and
resources
making the
is
investment.
resource is time, money, effort, um, all of those things that's required to get from point A to point B. There is some everybody isn't on the same playing field when it comes to this. Some of us have the infrastructure already in place and the staffing and the resources from the money and momentum. Others have nothing and have to literally create something. I
And
just
I'm gonna
think
take
there
this
needs to
too,
be
Ken. I'm gonna
the
show my
only thing that's required, honestly, is
yeah.
a want to. I know. I'm saying like if there's enough want to, then there's enough out there for you to navigate the gaps, to close the gaps and get it done and get it started. Whether that be we threw out some possibilities, whether it be students on campus, whether it be alums. When Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club is not
Mhm.
we official we're podcasts of Jackson State University. However, this was started by alums, wasn't even affiliated with the university, and it was just that we wanted to tell our story. We wanted to sit down and be able to have a platform to talk about any and everything that's all JSU. So
And every
um,
school needs that.
every school
Every
needs it. Absolutely.
single
Shout out to all the
school.
institutions that are doing that. We've seen an increase, and we want to see it all the way across the board, man. Because like I said,
And
we eat that content up.
you know Trey Hayes, right?
Oh, without question. Trey was sitting next to me at
Trey
the
been doing this for a
Trey
long
was
time.
sitting next to me at the SWAC championship game. That's my brother, man. We talk smack, but Trey's an honorary Jacksonian, by the way. I just want you to know that he.
I seen that. I seen it.
That's my
Listen,
boy, man.
listen,
Pastor
we had to
Trey.
switch back when when Coach Hugh got
Trey, no nonsense, man. A very good moment of Trey that occurred in the SWAC championship. I won't call no names, ain't gonna put nothing out there, but there was an altercation that occurred in our section. And for anybody that knows me, I'm when I'm at the game, like I get extremely agitated. Like I've been in the same section for eons and for years, and it done kind of got infiltrated with a lot of outsiders. It'd be too much going on. So for all y'all that's under that can hear my voice this year, I will not be present in the old section. I'm going to the reserve seats because I'm too old for that mess that's going on over there now. I might come over there and give me a little something, to take over there with me, but something happened, man, and Trey was the one that diffused it real quick. Trey
yeah.
got a quick move through five. He moved through about 17 folks there. Nope, we ain't finna have this. And he know exactly what I'm talking about. And everybody that was over there know who was involved and everything too. But Trey, good dude, man. I got a lot of love for Trey. That's my brother.
No, I just wanted to say he's been doing the Gremlin. So we talking about fan pages. And you
Yep.
mentioned the Tiger Talk, and I just wanted everybody to know Gremlin got their equivalent. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yep. Yeah.
Sam, you got a couple of them. I don't know who
Bangs Up
does.
is one of them that just come
A
about.
fifth quarter FAMU too.
Yep.
Yeah, but I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, but again, like we talk about blue bloods of the HBCU world, you're talking about your Jack State, Grambling, FAMU, Southern, Tennessee State, and then you talk about Tuskegee, right? Those are the 6 blue bloods.
They was trying to debate you yesterday about that. Is we
They
gonna
can't.
add?
There is no debate about that. It ain't. No, I'm just saying, like we talking about brands. We talking about. Listen, there's no disrespect when we say blue blood. We're not saying that the other institutions are less than. We're just saying we talking about blue blood institutions. Those are the D of the D1s is 5. Now, will that change? I mean, I don't know, but history is on my side when it comes to that data. But here's what I'll say about that. Southern should have something that, and hopefully, they got something that they really got a story to tell. And I don't know if I've seen it. You got a lot of really good, talented individuals that went to Southern that are doing a lot of things in media. Don't get me wrong. So don't get it twisted, because what happens is people listening and stuff, and they be like, "Oh no, we got all kind of this going." No, we're just talking about a social media presence, man. Just a social media, an active account that's and it sounds like to say we moving in silence, whatever. All right, okay, cool.
That don't make you no money.
Yeah, I mean,
I rebuke that ministry.
And this is not Ken Clark and Son of Love saying, y'all, we want y'all buying to what we saying. I'm just telling you the data's out there. You keep doing whatever you want to do. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying, like, there is no debate when it comes to these data. This is fact-based, data.
Right.
So,
like when I did my top 10 content creators. I went by what the data says. It wasn't biased. It is
Who
what
was
it is.
number one?
HBCU game day.
Yeah.
And then cut day, and then CFL podcast. 7 million views for HBCU game day. Cut day
Yep.
had 7 million, and CFL had 3 million. And then I also Ken looked at how many videos,
Yep.
right? Because that matters too. Because you may have 1 million views, but if you got more videos, are you as influential? There's a debate you can have there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So let's
Yeah.
look at the next slide right quick.
Cool deal.
Because I know you said you got stuff to do or whatever.
Yeah,
I
got a
always
tight
post it.
schedule.
Huh?
I said I always got a tight schedule, but let's get it. What you got?
So I always post this because we talk about resources, right? And then in my mind, if I'm going to say, because I have my teacher brain on, so if I tell you to do something, I feel like it's important to give a blueprint or layout of how it can get done, because everybody has a great idea until it's time to implement them. So these are the 4 ways that I feel like right now, if you're looking to say, how can I support my school as an alumni, as a student, as a casual fan, as a relative of somebody that went to um, an HBCU. To me, these 4 things, and you can tell me what you think. These
Mm-hmm.
4 things here will put you in that social media space right where you need to be.
Good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Also on social media. So the first one, follow the official pages and turn on notifications. I mean, that speaks for itself. Anytime you're putting content out there, you want it to be consumed
Right.
as a consumer for it. So, the best way to do that is for those of us that are in this HBCU world and a part of this culture, we ought to be doing it. That's why I said I definitely want to, do my part and follow pages and kind of keep up, with what's going on and go from there. Share one post on the school social media from the official school pages per week.
Now, let me say something about that.
Yeah.
In my head, I was thinking, if 1,000 alumni were all on one accord and everybody agrees, right? How many days in a year? How many days in a week times 1,000? That's gonna get you a good ROI, because it's going to spread.
Right.
So that's why
a good thing. I mean, especially for alums of the institution that they're on. That's a great idea. I actually like that. That's for alums, to get involved. And like I said, this doesn't require money. We're all on there. I think really what you're doing is you're defining what we say when it's like, we'll go to Shade Room and all these other unnecessary unnecessary as places that's full of trash and all that. And we'll eat that content up for days, but we have to be intentional. This is more, I get intentional from this, you know what I mean? So, using the correct HBCU hashtag. I mean, this is more an alum thing, because there's pride in there. We not gonna put hashtag Graham fam on nothing. That's for you to do. And I don't expect you to put DI love, but I will rock and put HBCUs. I will shout out the institution that's doing well and
tag them
and say their name. I will do that, absolutely. But as from an alum standpoint, you absolutely want to do that, and that's a good one. Add your favorite HBCU to your bio.
You skip one. Point.
No, I didn't. I was just talking about use the correct hashtag, and then
I get 2 and 3 kind of integrated.
Oh no! We touched on it. Okay. The last one, adding your favorite HBCU to your bio. Yeah, that's without question. You definitely should do that. I mean, this is just a matter of being intentional to support your institution if they're putting out content. You know what I mean? I think if there was There's a lot of people that don't rock with social media. This is where you kind of want that younger generation is the one that's gonna move the needle, because they on every social media platform that there is. So
Yeah.
this is why, and this was a great point made on the conversation we had recently, was in regards to this, was that, you have a lot of young momentum, but there's a few hiccups that comes along the way of getting students to do it. But I think there needs to be real intentional energy applied towards this whole entire avenue, even if that means creating a role and budgeting it into your institution and athletic budget. If that's something you could do, we understand that there has to be monies that come from that, but when you're creating a budget from an athletic standpoint, as things change, if the dollars don't change, you're probably going to change how you allocate those funds as they change. So,
Let me say this too, because I'm all about the numbers.
yep.
I've been, our alumni associations are 501c3s. So that means that when they file their tax documents, it is public record. I've been looking into our institution's alumni association financial records. We got the money to do this.
There's always the money there. The
Even
problem
schools,
we
listen, Ken, hold up.
go ahead.
Even the smaller schools, I'm telling you, we got the money to do this. It's all about, like you said, the wanting to do it.
You have to, whoever it is that makes that decision, you gotta be able to appeal to them and show them that. I know there's a lot of anti-Jackson State resistance. We don't want to do the same thing that they doing. I get all that stuff, but man, in the end of the day, I mean, just be real about something. People that like great business minds, they bite all the time. They copy all the time. We don't that whole saying, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. That's a business concept.
For real.
If it works, use it. If you are doing something that's making you money, and I could do the same thing and make me money, why would I not do it? I don't want to do that because that's what you're doing. I want to make my money differently. Well, yeah, that's another subject for a whole another day, and I can get on a rant about that because that's us.
That is us.
That
and
is
we
us.
have to be thinking like
our wealth is in our unity. I'm telling you. And what I mean by unity, it's not all of us at HBCUs holding hands saying "Kumbaya, my Lord." No, it's about a unified. Look, we're gonna compete. You're gonna get this work, man. You see what I'm saying? We might be at each other's throat tomorrow on Twitter. It's all right. It's all love in the end. But in the end, I'm gonna say it again. My mentality, and this is my brother Zoe. He's big on that, man. I was like, man, I don't care nothing about none of that. I ain't always thought like this. I'm not even gonna pretend like that. I was like, man, the hell with them folk, man. I want to beat them 100-0.
They make it hard though.
And then I realized something. We got this coach that showed up, and this man started saying things differently. And we're like, wait a minute, coach, hold on, man. Why are you helping them? You supposed to be building up. So we're trying to conquer the world over here, Jackson State. He's like, look, fools. If it's just you, that's an easy target. I'll give you this scenario because I like to get in trouble, controversial stuff, right? It's Sunday, you know what I'm saying? And let's just say whatever day, let's just say it's a Sunday. And people like to dedicate their time and attention to the Lord on Sundays, right? Even though every day is the Lord's day. But here's what I want to say. This is what if you read the Bible, and I'm not trying to be spiritual or nothing, but I always like to think about it like this: when it was just Christ, and he was just the Messiah. For those that are Christian and whatever, if you different, just follow the point. When it was just him, you only had one to contend with because there was only one. When it was simple, when it was just one, You knew what they called, he's to some he's a troublemaker, because he showed up, he had a different language, he talking different, because that's why he got crucified. But those that don't really know, but see, this what they didn't realize. This what they did not realize. They did not realize that after crucifying him, he was gonna multiply. So here's the problem now. It was just one person that was talking about this stuff. It was
you gonna get in trouble.
That had a foreign language.
Oh, you gonna get
in trouble. It was just one person
that
had a foreign language. But listen, after the day of Pentecost, oh boy, you got a whole room full of jokers come out full of they're everywhere. And there's a scripture that says on one day, I think he added like 3,000. Could you imagine if a troublemaker showed up? We're gonna call, and this is not a correlation to anything. I'm just using this as this is a parallel. This is an example. It's a metaphor, allegory. You got one person doing. I know I am. I don't care. My dad a preacher, man. I was born in this. I've been doing Sunday school lessons since I was 9. So, and I just buried. I'm gonna tell you something. I just recently buried my cousin, and so I live like this. This how
don't
I live.
finish. Don't get it out, preacher.
I'm just saying. When you got one person that I'll flip it for the heathens, for the heathen nights that don't go to church. If you got one, you got a bad some bitch on your block, just one, and that's the one. That one go out there and recruit a whole gang of them. You see it with anything. I don't care if it's The Walking Dead. They go vampires. It's all good when it's just one. And you know what they do with that one? They try to contain that one. We got to put that one in a cage. But boy, oh boy, if that joker start multiplying, gremlins, whatever. All I'm saying is it's strength in numbers. We can do so much more to move the culture forward when we're doing it collectively.
Yeah.
Even while we're competing, even while we're battling.
Because the fans gonna do what the fans gonna do. But what?
Yeah, we gonna do that. I mean, it is what it is. All I'm saying. But I noticed I didn't say no name, so it could be. You can say Willie Simmons. Let's just take Coach Prime name off of it, because every time we can say Hugh Jackson or Eddie George or Eric Dooley, whatever. I don't care. If whatever that coach is doing, and it's really moving the culture forward in a way that we've never seen it happen, and others start saying, maybe we should do that. That works. And then you start seeing multiple people. See, the problem ain't just Jackson State, because they could just say, oh, see, that's just Deion. That ain't HBC. That's just Deion Sanders. That's just Deion Sanders. But boy, if you get that, god damn, now Hugh Jackson is at Grambling, and the resurgence of Grambling, who got the biggest brand in the history of HBCU, that's scary. That big ass black helmet with that G on it was put a lot of fear in folks' minds.
So let me tell you something. One thing they know is them other folks love Eddie Robinson too now.
I'm just telling you now. Now Eddie Robinson, here's what made Eddie Robinson to me so great. That man had so many opportunities to go to PWIs and NFL and all of that, but he stayed down. He stayed where he was at, and all I'm saying is this, man. If it works, duplicate it, because there's so many ideas, man. We just in the beginning phase of this. It wouldn't have been. Look, we 1 year and a half removed from Coach Prime getting hired at Jackson State, man. And I'm telling you, it has been. We almost on year number 2. And the things that we're talking about and envisioning and thinking about, let's just be real. You and I both know it wasn't even. This very conversation is a byproduct of what this newfound energy has done for the culture.
Yeah,
and everybody.
And Coach Hugh came in. He gave Coach Prime his props. He gave Coach Eddie George his props, and he went to work. Coach
Hugh Jackson to be with the XFL or a USFL somewhere. you wouldn't be in no HBCU. Let's just call it what it is. And I ain't even knocking them for it.
Right.
But
Right.
because we needed a radical revolutionary to show up and say, you know what? I'm gonna go, because Deion Sanders is our best and brightest, but guess what? They didn't hire him. He tried. He'll be the first to tell you. Even our best and brightest, they was like, well, you gotta, we ain't gonna just hire you, just because we think you did it. But then when they saw what he can do, and everybody fantasizing about, whoa, he'd be great at this program. Well,
Ooh,
he'd be
bring
great at that
Jackson State to
program.
the
No,
Pac-12.
he'll be great at Jackson State. And I hope, if some more openings open up and there's potential in that regard, cool. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a bad thing. What if a couple of our coaches in the conference get an XFL job or something, and it creates an opening? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have to always be a negative thought. It could be centered around positivity or somebody getting somebody moved up. Bubba McDowell is a
Former NFL player.
former NFL player as well. But his opportunity came from.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this because I didn't know that, and somebody corrected me on Twitter. Now, this goes back to and I was fine with that, and I gave his his credit. And it's like I'm an HBCU graduate. I should know that, right? My school is a part of the SWAC. I should know that little amount of information at least about our coaches, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that all goes back to is Prairie View marketing that in a dynamic way to where they can say, okay, yeah, it's more than just what Grambling got going on, what Southern got going on. Hey, this is what we can say.
Yeah, Prairie View got a major blessing with the facility upgrades that they got.
Oh yeah.
And that should just be plastered all over their social media accounts, man.
It's
Every
nice
time we see recruit and somebody say, well, okay, well, do what Texas A&M is doing. You don't want to say you're doing what FAMU or Jack State doing. Let me say Texas A&M. Let me say Florida State. Let me say Miami. How about you do what the Hurricanes are doing? Because it showed that you see it. You see editing. You see graphics. You see coaches going to the hospital and offering recruits. You see, if you think them folks ain't taking notice and ramping up their social media activity, man, you out your mind. They ain't stupid. And then you sitting up here man, listen, there is a such thing as fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, you get talking about this, you get tired of it. It's like eating chicken every day. Your palate is you're going to get palate fatigue. Mm-hmm. There's a such thing as JSU fatigue. Hell, we be needing y'all to take some of the damn front. Somebody got to get out front, man. Let us. We can't be up. We in front of the line. We hauling ass and we wore out.
The coach
we need y'all to come along. We need. Listen, I'm serious. It's good for business. It's good. Listen. If you don't believe it, be quiet and be still for a little while and listen to your heartbeat. That must go. It work rest. Well, here's what I'm saying. When you get hooked up to an EKG monitor, that thing go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's life. Highs and lows. What I'm saying is, though, when you're running a relay, by the time I get around to that other leg, I'm wore out because I gave it everything I had. I'm going to hand that baton off to the other one. They're going to take off. Same thing.
Yeah.
So when you get tired of seeing FAMU talking about FAMU, and you get tired of Grambling talking about Grambling, Jack State talking about South Carolina State got social media content out the wazoo, so everybody going to go look at South Carolina State. Boom, here comes North Carolina A&T stuff. Oh, so let me go look at North Carolina A&T. Tennessee State. Oh, let me go look at Tennessee State. We'll never get tired. We'd be like Kevin Gates. I don't get tired.
Tennessee State. We haven't talked about. They have
done a phenomenal job, man. Like with all their programs, really.
You said
with their basketball and football program. I like the way that they recruit, take the pictures, and put it out there. They let people know who, especially commits, throw the little hat on. They got the little wall. Hey man, it don't take but a little bit of creativity and a little effort. They see how they doing something completely different than what we doing, but it's all in the same spirit. You see what I'm saying? So
Listen, when
they
I
not around
seen it,
there.
I don't know where Coach George was going, but he had on a blue suit, and it was the exact Tennessee State color blue, and it looked like it was Taylor. Man was looking good.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
man,
I said,
look
"Oh
good,
yeah."
brother.
I said,
Yeah.
"Listen, Ken." I said, "Oh, it's finna be on." And it,
You think for one second? Look, we got FAMU and Tennessee State and Grambling back to back to back. So we talk about blue bloods. We got the 3 blue bloods that we on our schedule is back to back to back. Must see TV, man.
yeah, and
Coach Prime Willie Simmons, Coach Prime Eddie George, Coach Prime Hugh Jackson. 3 straight weeks, man. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be must see TV on all of them because social media has affected me. We were getting so addicted to the content. It slowed down some, so we like, hey man, we go look at the page, be like, man, ain't no what content that we didn't slow down over there. But there's some reasons why I kind of slowed down a little bit, but there's also some other stuff that's going on that is still being create content being created and we're consuming that as well. So shout out to the pregame show. We're doing our thing and over at 1400 Club Tiger Talk and just trying to keep the momentum going. So I don't think anybody that wants to argue that point has a leg to stand on. It's tried and true, and the proof is in the
and a
pudding.
lot of times they just don't want to hear it because it's me saying it. That's why I'm not gonna shut up.
Well, I mean, or is y'all want us to do what Jack State been doing?
Right.
That's why I thought with the FAMU crew, I feel like they was ready to defend themselves. They don't have. I'm gonna say it on your show, like I said, FAMU doesn't have to defend that because those that really been paying attention know that FAMU has been doing it. Now that doesn't mean that FAMU can't do more and can't do better. I thought the video they put out was dope, great editing. That's why when the gentleman that jumped on their spaces that had something to do with was it Coach? I forgot his name. That works for Grambling and has a hand in the video. Coach Ford, yeah. So I'm like the video with y'all with the players in the pool and the music behind it, the graphics at the end, it was fire.
Listen.
I said I was looking at that like
Yeah.
I was like, hey man, graphics gonna be tough, man. But I'm saying like this is what I'm saying. Like, there's never been something this feels like the old BET days, man.
Pause right quick.
Go ahead.
When I tell you my phone blew up, because they think I know everything. I know when they know. Okay.
What?
I try to look, I'm tell you like I tell everybody else. I do not bother. I know they busy up there in Grambling. I do not bother nobody unless it's an absolute emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So so my phone just, it was that swimming pool video, and see, we just got that rebuilt and open to the students. So that's what I'm saying. It goes back to the whole conversation. We didn't do a ribbon cutting ceremony to where we like, look at the pool, y'all.
Yeah.
Everybody know Grandma got this fire pool, and they down there doing water aerobics and
now if you see another team pop up with water aerobics, they'll be like, man, y'all trying to copy us. So
sure did.
It look good. I'm gonna copy it. I don't care. I don't waste no time with that no more. Like if it works, I might try to mix it up. But hey, if it works, it works, man. But no, it's not to be too long-winded about it. I think we pretty much covered the waterfront on it, and the sky's the limit, man. You just got to get started. To all the HBCUs out there that haven't really done anything, it's really as simple as just getting started. And then the family, the HBCU family will support it.
And I wanted to say before we go, because we're coming up on an hour, so I want to give you back your time.
Okay.
as far as getting started. I don't know if you follow Craig Hall on Twitter. I want to show
Hmm.
some love to a HBCU we haven't talked about. But man, he does a phenomenal job promoting Andrew Body.
He does. He really
And
does. He does.
so I just want to shout that brother out and say, Texas Southern, you have a gift on your campus. Get that boy where he needs to be. And I don't care if somebody listening to this get mad at me. I don't care. I know where Houston is in the heart of the city. Get that boy up on a billboard. Give him what he deserves. Okay? Use these local markets. Get that boy some. I think Craig helped him, or I don't want to misquote him, but I know that Andrew Body got one NIL for sure.
Yeah, he definitely does with the
Yeah.
little food company out
Listen,
there. I've seen
let
that.
that boy lead that team. Okay? Put him in front of that camera. Let him do his thing. It gotta come from the school. It
That's
gotta
right.
be real to people. He's a very
That's right.
marketable young man. Let's give him what he really needs to be successful. You got a connection over there, Texas Southern with Lovey Smith. He was on campus, I think, 2 months ago, and he's supposed to be upgrading our facilities or something like that. Use your local
Mm.
resources, because he's the head coach for the Texans.
Yep.
Let's get it done. And I'm just gonna say it like that.
I'm all in with you on that
Stand in
one.
the gap for my
Anytime you
boy.
got something that's working for you, man, you got to sell it. You got to big it up. You got to tell your story, man. Shout out to Valley. Valley doing
Oh,
some work, man.
yeah.
Coach
Okay.
Vincent is, yeah,
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let you go. For real, for real.
yep,
Listen, Valley ain't got no problem. Let me tell you why. What I mean by that. About 2 weeks ago, maybe last week, Valley was doing a fundraiser,
yep,
and they took a screenshot and showed how much they had raised, and it was like,
yep.
"Hey, Coach Prime, something about, can you help get us over the hill?" And they tagged Coach Prime in it. Not even 24 hours, they had doubled their donations. Now I ain't saying you got to
Envy,
tag Coach Prime every time you make some money, but
envy will have you hating on the very person that's put in place to be a blessing for you. And those that have not had that resistance within themselves and reached out, he's helped. I'll say that. I'll say it like that. They're proofs in the pudding, but that's a man that, man, we got a Coach Prime becoming our coach was like hitting the lottery, man. I'm telling you, you know where we were. I'll be the
yes,
first to tell you.
I
Man,
went
we
to some
we and it
games.
was
I get
self-inflicted
it.
too. We did it to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And we went so far down. We was like the fat calf in 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine, Jack. We went straight to famine. And it was bad, man. It was brutal, but we were still there. We still supported, and it was so hard though, 3 wins and 4 wins and 5 wins was the most we ever got in the season after we fired Coach Comedy. And
Yeah.
and finally to get Coach Prime was just like, wow, he picked us up when we was at our worst. So we ain't walking around here with our nose stuck up in the air. We was talking smack when we was 3-8. We gonna talk smack when we 8-0. What you think? It's like ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You ninjas been beating us up for the last 7 years. Well, guess what? I done got strong now. I done went in the gym and done pump weights and took some steroids and now ready to taekwondo, judo. Now we coming out. We want retribution. Oh man, so no. But back to the point, and like I said, we'll close it out with that. I really shout out to you. Congrats again on getting your platform jumped off
Thank
and
you.
proud of you, man. Keep it going strong. Anytime you need me to come on, I'm always here for you if you need me. And man, it's this is our life. This ain't no, for those that don't know, we don't get tired of it because we talk
I'm
about
get
it all
tired.
day, any day, every way, any day. Anyway, so I was saying earlier that it reminds you of the old days when remember when like what was that um different world. I think, you had a lot of, sitcoms that used to push HBCUs, and now we're in the media, and to see kind of that celebrity, um, um, those celebrity eyes coming back, I don't, that's cool, but it's not just the celebrity. It's just also those that are paying attention that probably never would have ever paid attention, and that's due to social media.
Mhm.
And it's okay if y'all don't want to join the party. You're gonna stay at the bottom because we're gonna run off and leave you. And just saying, I'm just
Uh,
saying,
we
I
have
would
not
rather
had a
go
break.
ahead,
You know that, right?
huh?
We haven't had a break since the celebration mode. Normally, we just go through this dead period.
Yeah, it's been popping,
Signing
man.
day, spring game, all
Yep,
of it was phenomenal for those that
yep,
actually pushed it.
yep, yep. I
So
agree with that. I agree with that. But
we
yeah,
doing
that's
we we're doing the making the small adjustments that other bigger schools do automatically.
right. And it's only going to get better. We're just getting started.
Yeah,
You guys are just getting started. Like I said, I want to beat Grambling at their best. It doesn't. I mean, beating us, like beating y'all when you dumpster truck juice is one thing. Like they're just like, all right, we sucked. Everybody beat us. But when it's a dog fight, and Jackson State got their best and brightest, and Grambling got their best and brightest, and it's a war on the gridiron, and it's like that. That's what you want to see. Because at the end of the day, you want to see a good product too. At the end of the day,
right.
all the recruiting and everything marketing is a big part of recruiting as well. But you also want to see that translate to the field. To Steven's point, that's how
Great.
you that's how you bring about, and what worked at that time worked for them, and it did well for them. So I can't say that formula will work for them now, because if you look at it, like, we'll see. We'll see where they go from here. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see based off the team that they put on the field for this season and the next couple of years. If you see a substantial difference between the FAMU, Grambling, and Jackson States as opposed to some of these schools, then I think that then you're gonna come and say, well, there was a time 2-3 years ago where the whole it was a momentum shift, and these schools went with the tide, and you guys chose not to, and now your product is a direct result of the return that you invested. You only got back what you invested. You see
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And I'm telling you right now, this man, our head coach, has made a living off marketing. There are major brands that, I mean, I can't even name all of them, that pays him to market their products. He's a master marketer. So much so that people pay him money to market their stuff, give him free stuff all the time. We knew this before he became a coach in
Right.
the SWAC. So who you think I'm gonna listen to? A coach that don't know the difference between IG or Twitter, or a coach that is a walking billboard?
It ain't post nothing on their social media since the spring game. I'm
Just
looking right
saying.
at y'all when I say this.
Best of luck to you.
And
Hope it
listen,
works out for you.
and look, the post they made before that was when they was at another school. But I'm gonna leave that alone.
Well, all I say is this in relation to that is that there's some companies out there that are looking for schools that are, they're looking to partner with a good company and have them take over their social media. You got to just be willing to pay for it though.
Yep.
Or you can go that route, or you can invest in your own. You know what I mean? How about you solicit those that have come through the program and say, hey, we need this. And maybe the return on that is something similar to like a Tiger Talk, where you bring in alums and give them full access to your institution. And you see what I'm saying? I mean, who wouldn't want to spend some extra time dedicating, talking about the program, covering the program? If they're gonna get access to the program, they're gonna be at the games. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
get some merch
Once in
and
a
all this and that.
lifetime
You
opportunity.
may you may not even have to pay them like that, because if it's a labor of love and they're gonna get access, access is man. Listen, this is my last thing, and I promise I'm gone after this. Man, relationship capital is better than money. That's the saying. People say it ain't what you know, is who you know. Relationships is the thing that'll get you in the door. That money, that there was no price tag on the entrance. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree.
Just saying, man, you better stop playing and get with the program. Otherwise, get left. That's just how it goes. What we say, don't be Blockbuster.
Don't be okay. Well, in my heart, I don't want any of our schools to get left, and that's why
Facts.
I pushed the envelope. My heart was with. I always tell this story. I even found out about HBCUs because of UAPB. The band used to come down to my hometown. So I have a love just off the strength of that for UAPB, even though I chose to go to Grambling. So I've always supported and had love for all HBCUs. So it don't bother me whatsoever to share, like, whatever, subscribe to even Southern. I watch some of their content when they don't even watch it. Some of the people like Mr. Carlos Brown, I watch his show. That Southern don't even watch it. But anyway, he old school. I be
Yep.
trying to figure out, what I'm saying, learn that knowledge of their school that I may not know just simply because I didn't go and I wasn't around then. So I'll be trying to learn my HBCU, just little stuff about it, even though it's not
Mm-hmm.
mine. And I
Gotcha.
think that would also, if there's some content out there, I'll watch it because I really don't watch TV. So we're gonna go on and get up out of here. Anything you want to say before we leave, Ken?
Follow 1400 Club on Twitter, IG, Facebook. Follow Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club, Twitter, IG, Facebook. Follow me, Ken Clark, KC512_601 on Twitter, Ken Clark 1400 on IG, and Ken Clark on Facebook. And just continue to do your thing. I'm pretty sure I'll be back on a few more shows here and there. Anytime you call, reach out. I'm always, if I got the time, I don't mind coming on and blessing these folks.
Is
You
that
know what
right?
I'm
The
saying?
1400 Club right there?
Yeah, that's the parent IG page, and then Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club is I think it's Tiger Talk 1400 on Twitter.
Okay.
But just put in Tiger Talk and it'll pop up. You
All
search
right,
it.
y'all. We're gonna go and get out of here. And y'all be sweet out here in these HBCU streets.
There it is.